Hello and welcome to Weston and Sampson. For the next couple of minutes, I'm going to walk you through our Health and Safety Matters blog where we do our weekly safety meetings and to show you some helpful tips on how to maneuver around and essentially just to introduce myself and welcome you to the company. I know that you are going to love working here as much as I do, and I encourage you, if you have any questions regarding the health and safety of yourself or your department, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and to let me know what you need, and I'll be happy to help you in any way that I can. So, welcome to Weston and Sampson, and I'm going to shrink out of the way here, and I'm going to show you what we do here at Weston and Sampson for our weekly safety meetings. You have been emailed the credentials on how to log into the Safety Matters blog in your welcome email. If for some reason you can't find that or you don't know how to access it, please don't hesitate to send me an email, and I will either resend it to you or send you an email with your login credentials. Please make sure when you do log in for the first time that you go ahead and change your password. So when you log in, if you're going to change your password, which I highly encourage you to do, you're going to go over here to the right side of the page where it says Howdy and your name. You're going to click on Edit Profile, and then you're going to scroll down to the bottom, and where it says New Password, you click this box here where it says Generate, and you can type in whatever password that you want here. It really doesn't matter what you choose. And when you're all said and done, you're going to scroll to the bottom and you're going to click Update Profile, and that'll change your password. When you're done with that, you click over here, or just hover your mouse over here and choose Visit Site. Now that you're on the home page for the Safety Matters blog, I'm going to just walk you through it very quickly what we have here. So these two buttons here, this picture of the house and the home button, do exactly the same thing. It doesn't matter where you are on the website. If you click these two buttons, either of these two buttons, it'll bring you right back to this page. Then you'll have the weekly safety meeting. So if you click this button here or this box here, it will take you to the same place. We have an informational page that is all about ticks. Anything that you could possibly want to know about ticks is found here. We have our training certificates. So if you work for CMR or services, any training that you've received as part of your quarterly safety meetings will be posted here. And then we have the forms and training dates. I'm going to show you what these are in another segment. Here you have the topic list. So when you click on this banner, it will take you to the weekly safety meetings, and then you have how many days has our company worked without a lost time injury, so you can see for CMR or services or engineers how well we've done. You can see our mod rate for the last 3 years, as well as what our OSHA recordable incident rate is here. So this is our home page, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a weekly safety meeting. So click on this link here. It'll take you to the weekly safety meetings. Now these always run in reverse order, so the most current meeting will always be at the top, and as they get older they'll be further down the list. And I want to say each page keeps 5 weeks of meetings or 5 meetings. So you'll see here that we're at doing defensive driving number 2. So if I scroll up, you'll see there's defensive driving number 1. So each week they're always laid out in the exact same order unless there's something special. Like this week, for example, we happen to have the 4th of July happening. So I have, Happy 4th of July, some safety information, how to safely work with fireworks, and what the chances of being injured are, as well as some more information there. So that section's not always there. We also have questions from the previous week. So you'll see here it says in question number 1, your eye lead time should be at least 15 seconds. So you'll see here it says questions I asked last week. So when you're doing each week, you will have 2 challenge questions regarding the material that you read. These 2 questions here were from defensive driving number 1. So these are the answers to the questions that I asked last week. So next week you'll get to the answers that I asked this week, so you can verify whether or not you had the right answer or not. Then you'll have any questions or comments that employees from Weston and Sampson has asked. That's going to be in this section here. Now these may be from previous years, that may be from this year. It may be in something that was asked in January that was more appropriately put into this week's meeting. So those will be here. And then you'll actually have the topic. So this week we're going to talk about the 5 keys to space cushion driving. We're actually going to talk about key number 2, so you'll read all about that here. And then down when you get to the bottom, there are actually 2 different things here. So this area, this is a hot link. So if you're doing it on a smartphone, you'll get this exact same form in a separate window that's designed to be resized based on the shape and size of your mobile device. If you're on an iPad or a Droid or an iPhone or an Android phone or a Windows phone, it doesn't matter. This form will resize to the best possible way that is presented on your mobile device. If you're on a computer, you can just do it in this screen here. It really doesn't matter how you do it. You can do either one. So what you'll do is you'll answer the question your minimum following distance is, whatever the correct answer is. It just happens to be 4 seconds. To remove vision barriers, you should establish good following distance. That is also true. Then as we get down to the bottom, you'll have that I have read and understand the above, and that if I have any questions, you can reach out to me or your manager. You'll check that box. You know, see asterisks. You have to choose. You have to reply to each one of these questions. Then you'll choose what company that you work for, and then enter your name. Now in this box, this is where most people have problems when they're doing their safety meetings not being updated or not being tracked. The tracking form is specifically looking for a very specific spelling of your name. And if you read the description right here, it says that you need to enter in your last name with a comma, then a space, and then your first name. It doesn't matter capitalization in this box. It doesn't matter. So you see I have a lowercase w and an uppercase d. That doesn't matter. What matters is that the syntax is correct. It's last name, a comma, a space, and then your first name. Now it doesn't matter what you put in here. If I decided that I didn't want to put this in here, I wanted to put, it will absolutely take whatever value I put. So when I choose select, if I scroll up, it'll see my response has been recorded, but it will never track that response as being completed by me. So if for some reason I need to go back and redo it again, I can click submit another response. I can go in, change my responses, and essentially all I'm doing is redoing the form. So if I type in my name correctly this time and I hit submit, it'll say that it's been recorded. So now how do I know whether or not my meeting has shown up and I did it correctly? Well, if I go back and I click on the home button, and then I click on this button right here, it'll take me to my weekly safety meeting summary report. So if I go and find my name, I know I work for services, and I scroll down to the bottom, it'll show you right here that David Wright is 100%, and it shows all of the weekly safety meetings being completed. Now, what I find happening to most people is if you're doing these meetings on a mobile device, when you go to type in your name into that form that I just showed you a minute ago, when you type in your last name, so it'll say Wright, comma, space, David, and then it'll actually append an extra space after your name. Now, if you notice where the cursor is blinking, you can check this on any device, whether it's on a computer or if it's on a smartphone. You can look and see, is there a space after my first name? If there is, I'm going to hit enter and change my name into the tracking sheet, and what you'll see is down here on the bottom, it automatically says that I am no longer current because my entries no longer match this spelling. So if I go back and I take out that space, you'll see that it goes right back to 0 and that it shows that I'm at 100%. So if you complete a weekly safety meeting and you're like, I know that I did this and I can't understand why it's not registering my name, that is 99% of the time the reason why. So just send me an email. I'm not going to ask you to redo them. That's silly. I know you've already done them, but I can go in and I can edit your response to remove that space, so that way you don't have to redo any of the meetings. Now, if for some reason you're doing your meeting and you forget to hit submit, there will be no record that you actually completed the meeting. So make sure that you click submit and that you're verifying that I have, or that it gives you that response that says your response has been recorded. If you don't get that, it didn't record. If you find that you're missing meetings, like you have one meeting, for example, let's just say take Frank here for a sec. You see if Frank has one that's out of sequence, so you'll see a yes, then a no, then a couple of yeses, then a no. If you're not looking at this form for several weeks, you may have a couple of them that run out of order. So if Frank was to go back in and he goes here and he clicks right here, you can see that this gives you a link. So if I click on that link, it opens another window and it takes me right to the meeting that I would be missing. I can scroll to the bottom and I can complete my meeting. And then once I hit submit, I can go back to that form and I can look and say, hey, look, now that's changed from a yes or a no to a yes. And it's usually takes about 2 to 3 minutes for it to update. It really depends on how much activity the blog is getting. So Friday mornings when the meetings come out, it's going to take a little longer. But you can do that right here. That's each one of these is a link. And if for some reason, if you go out here and you try to go, oh, wait a minute, I want to work ahead. So I go out here and do week 5 and I click that. It's going to tell you that that week's meeting isn't ready for you to go yet. So you'll have to wait until the week it publishes. Also, if you click on a link, let's say that I click on defensive driving number 2 and for some reason it doesn't open the page. It tells you that it's broken. Please just send me an email so I can know that that link is broken. I can go in and fix it. So you notice I have all kinds of windows open here. The only one that I really need to have open is one of them, so I can close the other 2. And what you'll see is here is the tracking sheet. You can bookmark this page if you want. It doesn't change very often. In fact, at the end of the year, I'll just copy this page for record keeping, and then I'll just rename it to 2019 next year, so you can see where you are for each week. If you have any questions regarding the blog or how to complete it or anything like that, please don't hesitate to give me a call, send me an email, and my information is always on the top of every single page on the blog. So there's my name. At the top of every web page is my contact information. It has my name, my cell phone number, and my email address. So if you have any questions, just drop me a note, give me a call. I'll help you out. Also, any email that I send has the same information. It has my cell phone and email address. I don't have an office phone, but what I do have is a cell phone that's on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call me. And I hope you have a fantastic day.